My name is Teresa Lockwood. I reside in Vineland, New Jersey, and I'm actually recording my persecutor. They're trying to condemn anxiety as an unbelief. This is basically that comment of the evil of their false prophet, John Wesley, their false prophet, John Wesley, who was, well, basically Antichrist. We can definitely say the man is in hell. He has caused, because of his false doctrines, he has called complete disaster throughout generations, even into this today, this generation or whatever, and destroying many lives. Basically, that he is the inventor of the electric shock machine. Okay, the device he was used to basically torture people, and if they had any natural responses, that would be a response of distress under unjust oppression, that of the expression of natural anxieties or depression, which basically would be a conscientious witness and evidence of somebody, well, being oppressed, abused, victims of abuse. And these false evil doctrines still resonate. I don't know if I just used the right word or wrong word or not. Probably. Would is in the minds of today. That's how dangerous like false doctrine is. It's very deadly. These people, they like to go around saying, do these things. Those are death words. Those are life words or whatever. And it's just like very strange. Yeah, if you have somebody like abusing you, gaslighting you, mentally abusing you, harassing you, who are church people, and then you sit there, they're lying about you, making up all these thoughts about you or whatever, like these people have done to me. A lot of churchian people do this. And you call them a liar, they're like, "Oh, those are death words." Like there's something wrong with them. They're unintelligent beings. They're unenlightened. They don't speak in knowledge. Any judgment against their evil, they call death words. So if they're a liar, if you call them a liar, they're doing the abuse. Of sitting there lying to you, which is abuse. And he called them out for basically the pathological lying all the time. That's what they do. So it's just like, okay, well, my response is like, okay, if I put to death your lie, that's a good thing. I don't know. That's the only way you're going to produce life in you if you stop your pathological lying. Okay. So Jesus called people like that, well, liars, because they are liars. So, liars go to hell. Just want to let you know that it is murder. This false minister is, he persecuted, me and my children. He still is. It's really strange because he's actually reflecting, he keeps doing it in his sermons where he's reflecting my character, in relation to, Jesus Christ, saying words, related to me. Yes, there is a recognition of Christ in me. This is why I'm being persecuted, of course. But then they basically, it's really disturbing because then they will sit there and create this false version of Jesus to try to sit there and attack me, which attacks Jesus. So it's really disturbing. What I'm dealing with. This is the thing. I was attacked. He's going to have these false doctrines that I'm going to record, and I was actually attacked, and bullied, and mentally abused and harassed in this church, call mainly under a leaking, false ministers leaking, who's in hell, and San Piero. And of course, the reaction when you're abused is a reaction of anxiety because there's a threat to your life. Okay, you're being basically assaulted. Okay, yeah, it is. It is an assault physically, when you are mentally abused. So, the thing is that these look. All right, I just looked up because the first thing I think of, and I've done it before, when I was in this church and they were sitting there condemning me, like they would abuse me, and if I like started shaking or basically got a little upset, and I wasn't very expressive about it, or whatever. they would call me a demon. This is what they did. And all these other things that I was saying, I'm demon possessed. Having human emotions that God designed is not a sin, by the way. The thing is, they're psychopathic, okay? And they know that um, the reaction is evidence. Like conscious, like subconsciously, or whatever the case may be. Like, this is why I have realized, like, there's a lot of people who have this psychopathy, which is basically their own conformed by their own willful sins and of evil. Um, that they will attack a person who basically speaks up against abuse or is in emotional distress because of some sort of unjust oppression, and things like that. Which is, I was actually abused in this church for being a victim of domestic violence. So they are part of basically that of me having severe PTSD, which they use the system and everything to persecute me. I'm still being persecuted. So the thing is, we're gonna listen to him like make all these false excuses about anxiety, claiming that it's really confusing because he's speaking against himself. Now, I'm not against contradictions. Some contradictions can be explained and interpreted. There's going to be a lot of contradictions in language. I have contradictions in language. Explaining my life, there's going to be contradictions, appearance of contradictions. But the thing is, in principle, he's voiding it out. The thing is, he does some things on purpose. So the thing is, he's echoing other people who are persecuting me: the Vineland, New Jersey Police Department, Pentecostals, Calvary Chapel, and things like that, where they're actually attacking me for actually, because of my anxieties, being abused by them and being a victim of domestic violence. Vineland Police, who are programmed with these false knowledge and all these sins, who are basically abusive. They're domestic violence abusers. Basically are have abused me for being a victim of domestic violence. So they're making up all these excuses to sit there and cover it up and try to put all these false labels, okay, and false, misdefining things deliberately, putting new false meaning on things or whatever to bring their confusion to make sure I'm not heard, because I was actually attacked, and slandered and abused by police for basically shaking for, being a victim of domestic violence. So they're making up lies, by the way, to obstruct justice, okay, and, mislead, the hearers. They use these chaplains, by the way, Frank Appolito and William Clay and Eddie Haney and all these other people, to make these false claims, to claim, oh, that's what Christians believe, and that's what the truth is, and using them and their title and their acceptance in society, or whatever the case may be. And these are predators, by the way. They're women and child predators. And it's really sickening what they're doing. So they love police, abusive, corrupt police love abusive cults, because abusive cults like this have their rules that silences victims, okay, and oppresses the people and refuses people's rights. And this is exactly what the Vineland, New Jersey Police Department have colluded with them for and are doing, okay, and all of them are basically persecuting me. Okay, they actually swore in, these chaplains of William Clay and Calvary Chapel, Frank Appolito, for basically committing hate crimes against me, attacking my children, and me, and because they are attacking Christianity. Christianity is anything that is true, just, and right, by the way. So they don't come to the truth. Well, because they love their lie more than the truth. They don't believe in laws of justice. They condemn law, okay? And they condemn anybody who brings a truth or what is lawfully right or of not true knowledge against them. Then they sit there, pervert the Bible like a typical pedophile, trying to abuse it and control the public, which is basically the word of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding in the Bible is actually against them and their practices. I mean, okay, I'm going to go on. I'm going to record this because I'm going to take up too much time. So I only have a short period of time on here. So the thing is, he's lying, by the way. Now, the thing is, prior to this, in a different sermon, he basically was trying to project this, um, vision, a term for vision, and saying vision is futuristic, right? And then I was basically I spoke against them, and basically no, vision is basically what is in the present, projected. Excuse me. I ate something before, and I had something in my teeth that was terrible, that was bothering me. So I'm sorry about that. So I shouldn't do that. I should eat after I do my video. So macadamia cookies and hot creamy tea, by the way. Maybe like 2 a.m. Dinner. So the thing is that okay, so yeah, the thing is I actually use an example of Daniel. I'm going to use it again. I just looked it up again, because they're speaking against distress. And they're making these false rules for anxiety and things like that. Look, the thing is that anxiety happens what is going on in the present, okay? Now, they have stolen, it's kind of upsetting, because when I actually corrected their false teachings about vision and prophecy, they actually took that and they took and stole my words that I spoke against their false claims of prophecy, okay, and then put it on hope and used my words that they stole from me and put it on the word hope, which basically I understood what they were trying to do. I don't appreciate them. These are my persecutors, and I don't appreciate them stealing my words. So I actually tried later to actually make a meme of it and put hope on it. And what they did is I actually made it before I watched their next sermon, and they actually put my words that I actually did a meme of like prior, but I didn't watch the video till the next video till after. And it's like they're playing these games, because the thing is, their false minister Eddie Haney put said that the book of Revelations is a book of hope. The thing is, in regards to hope and the different implications of what people see in relation to hope, and what they tried to portray to the public, which they have no idea what's in our book of Revelations, by the way. They use a perverted Bible, by the way. But it's a forged false Bible that is completely evil, against Christianity, against Jesus Christ, perverts not only the book of Revelation, okay, but all the rest of the Bible. But the thing is they play these games. So they reflected this thing about putting my words of prophecy and what prophecy is on hope. I wasn't doubting or coming against hope, by the way, or that like I saw hope in the prophecy and the same reflection of prophecy. The thing is, they don't understand the things of faith and hope or whatever. Do they have to understand that definingly in spoken words? Not necessarily. So the thing is there is a lot of play and deception, and there's a war on, and basically language to bring confusion. It's just something I've been dealing with for many, many, many years. You're still doing it. The Vineland Church and the Vineland Police Department still try to redefine and misdefine words to basically change or falsely misinterpret basically what I say. The Vineland Police are doing this. They're actually trying to they even tried to misdefine like punctuation, try to confuse. I mean, the whole internet went berserk because of them. Because they're trying to actually tried to put false definitions on basically punctuation so they can misinterpret what I am writing. And deny what I am saying. They don't have a right to misinterpret me. Whatever is a misinterpretation of anything that I write, even if I basically make something of an error and intended something, any misinterpretation is slander. It is a lie. But this is what they are doing. Okay, and the ones involved in it, like I said, were our Ramoth Church, William Clay, Calvary Chapel, Frank Appolito, and the Vineland, New Jersey Police Department. They did this to basically, because it's their ungodly jealousy. They hate me simply for basically giving truth to them. So they're persecuting me for it. So, and because basically the knowledge of truth exposes them. So this is nothing new. Studying dictionaries in the past, I actually, had to question some things. Like, this doesn't make any sense, because there's full teachings, and the principles that are being used, like, confirms the use of words and things like that or whatever. So I had to basically search and search and search and search, and basically come to the roots of words. And this is actually many years ago, and I come across, like, the neo-linguistics. With linguistics only teaches about, like, the change of meaning in language. But what I realized when I was reading words in dictionaries and comparing them and looking up words, this is like over like 15 years ago, between 10 and 15 years ago, I noticed that there was a deception. And the thing is, they're still practicing it. Like, you've seen that all over a line where, there's a thing over, like, the terms, like, rhetorical, which they call rhetoric, mispronouncing it. They basically combined a word. And it all happened starting, actually, with me by interpreting scripture, okay, in this church. And they were making up lies or whatever, as being bullied by this false minister, Lee King. And so what they misdefined, willfully, the word rhetorical, because they were basically they're anti-theist atheists. And because I was interpreting scripture, okay, they just lied and lied and lied and lied about me. They're still doing it, even though this evil Lee King is, like, rotting in the ground. We're all gonna rot in the ground. So, he's basically in hell. The thing is that, the, how do I say this? Yeah, so they are the ones who basically brought the confusion in regards to the mispronounced rhetoric. Now, there is a word rhetoric, right? But they were basically trying to put and mispronounce rhetorical, okay? Or and it was expressed through Obama mispronounced, and basically spread through all over through media. And this was the source of that. It was coming out of this church, Ramoth Church, and the Vineland, New Jersey Police Department, trying to attack me, harass me, okay, and because, well, I interpret scripture. So they wanted to make it look like basically when I basically said a statement of God was rhetorical, meaning that from effect that he wasn't inquiring that he did not know something in relation to the book of Genesis. These anti-theist atheists went around sitting there misredefining the word so I could sit there and make it sound like when I sat there and said God's statement was rhetorical, they sat there and tried to put that word on falsehood, like anything that is false. So sit there and make it sound like I am saying that God's statement was false because they're anti-theist atheists. So this is psychological harassment. So in the change of language and neo-linguistics, this is what they are continuously doing, and they're deliberately trying to bring confusion. And like I said, it's coming out of this Ramoth Church and the Vineland, New Jersey Police Department, anti-theist atheist. So, he is tracing all kinds of anti-theist, atheist, false ideologies all through his sermons, by the way. He's a fraud. So they're abusing me. He's being used to actually confirm false ideas, to attack me, mentally abuse and harass me for basically expressing anxiety for being tortured and psychologically tortured and abused by these satanic cult churches. The Vineland Police Department is a satanic cult. Yes, that are anti-theist atheists. They can sit there and say, well, oh, they don't believe in Satan, they don't believe in those things. The reality is Satan is basically the self-rebeller. So, and that would be the rebeller against anything that is right, just, and true. So, the thing is, they are evil. They are very, very evil. I might have to do a part 2 on this video, but I'm going to record, William Clay.
Love to figure things out, and we love to know the answers. And even if we don't really know the answer, we create an answer because it gives us a sense of control.
That's what they do. All this church has, all they have done is make up lies. Now, I mean, it was so ridiculous. Like, they made up that, like, that was completely unrelated to me. They made up, I could get it. Yeah, okay. I want to say something, but it's just like, so I don't just like stop there. Okay, they made up when I basically taught that I didn't believe that Jesus was God. They basically made up that I was a Catholic. Now, Catholics are the one that poison society with their false teaching that they teach, falsely claiming that Jesus is God. And that God died on the cross. This is one of the statements that I was basically attacked for in the this Nazarene church by false minister San Piero. So the thing is that the thing is, it was also against the teachings I grew up on. So then they made up this whole thing that, oh, she learned that from, what she was raised on or whatever. No, the teachings I teach, I was not raised on, and is actually against the false doctrines that they hold that I grew up on, even though I didn't really hear much about certain things that they related that to. But, yeah, no, sorry, I'm actually spiritually and biblically, enlightened, but, the thing is, I simply just read out of the Bibles in context. These people basically pervert the Bible greatly. They even try to run 2 perverted Bibles, forged Bibles, to sit there and try to match up with their evil. Okay, that was... Okay, I'm going to go on because I'm taking up too much time. So, the thing is, I should start another video because I actually want this... I'm going to do a part 2 already. I'm going to cut this off and make it short. Because the thing is, I want this in the beginning. I always wind up doing this at the end of a video. But... he just makes up these lies. He's a very false, opinionated, egotistical, pathological liar. A lot of it echoing other people's lies. So you want to be one with them. He's basically given an opportunity to sit there and poison society and keep people poisoned in society. And, well, basically they abused me for basically being abused by them, and then me reacting with anxiety for being abused, which is my natural reaction, and then abusing me for that. This is what they did continuously. And I kept going back, like, for about 5 years in this church, while I was being mistreated by a majority of the people in there and showed nothing but kindness. Now I show harsh rebuke, okay? And I have no apologies for the righteous judgments I bring against them. They continue to persecute me, by the way, and their slanderous lies and persecution they're calling judgment. No, it's just evil acts committed against me, and you will be judged. And you'll receive a great judgment, and God made a hell for people like you. But I'm going to record this again on another video. And relate it to expressions in scripture by the false slanders against the false slanders of the Vineland, New Jersey Police Department, fraudulent Pentecostals, and their other false chaplains, and this false minister. Hold on.
In the circumstances of our lives.
He doesn't speak by any real true knowledge. He just made up, by the way, that these disciples were expressing this anxiety by asking Jesus questions or whatever, saying, "What do you mean?" That's not necessarily true. There is an expression of Jesus' great anxiety, by the way, which expresses him of being in great distress. Okay, and his sweat was as thick as uh, uh, drops of blood. Which is a comparison. Simile. Uh, um, which I basically taught in that church, and they falsely misinterpret it with the literal claim, where I mean many people have probably heard it, where it's just like they tried to scientifically prove if Jesus actually sweated blood. Well, it doesn't say that. It says his sweat, okay, was as thick as drops of blood. Okay, so I'm going to end with that, and I'm going to start a part 2.